All right, so let's talk to some customers. First up, we have Tom Bosco, the CIO at Anduril. Now, Anduril has been one of the most exciting defense manufacturers, primarily because they're focused on software at the core of building great hardware. Let's take it over to Jack and Tom.
100%. Bosco, lovely to have you here on the show. I think Anduril is one of America's, you're redefining manufacturing, right? You're sitting at the bleeding edge. You're absolutely redefining what it means to be building these products in real time. And I think the fact that you are building on warp speed on Palantir is incredible, right? I think the thing for me is, as I mentioned, software-defined manufacturing. It's such an incredible concept. Tell me more about what that means to you at Anduril.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for having us. We're very happy to be here, and we're very happy with the Anduril and Palantir partnership. For us, one of our core capabilities is this software-enabled hardware product we sell to our customers. And that doesn't just apply for the product we deliver, it also applies to how we build that internally. And we've organized our entire corporate technology organization around this concept of Arsenal OS. We're building one common operating system internally to enable us to design, test, manufacture, build, and sustain our products. And why are we doing that? It's the speed of execution. If you think about the complexities of building a hardware business, there are so many different end-to-end complexities we have to deal with. We have to deal with the constant R&D in the design space and the configuration management challenges that come from that. You have to deal with a wide supplier base and a wide quality apparatus that how do you make sure you're delivering high quality products to the end consumers. And if you start to look through the litany of challenges you have in building all of this, the only way to do that really effectively is with software. It's like such an obvious thing to us who come from a software background, but you need that software controlled like manufacturing ability to be able to do this well. So like we have built out this Arsenal OS concept, not just in theory, but it's also our organizing principle internally. We've organized our entire team around this. People don't work on software tools, they work on production OS and quality OS and sustainment OS, and it's a key part of how we run the teams in the business, and Palantir is a part of that.
That's incredible. And you mentioned there, it's all about embracing complexity, right? It would never work to come to your business and say, oh, actually, here's the mold you need to fit in. Here's how you must architect your manufacturing. At the end of the day, it's going to be changing constantly as the demand and the supply changes on your side. So, as I mentioned, you're building on warp speed, right? So when you think about that constantly changing picture, when you think about embracing that complexity, how is warp speed uniquely positioning you guys at Anduril?
So Foundry is a key part of our Arsenal OS strategy. It's one of the many homegrown tools and third-party tools we use, and warp speed is working on some of the most complex and hardest problems for us to tackle. So very tactically, the first warp speed use case we've worked on is co-developing the MRP speed module for Anduril with Palantir, which has gone very well. And if you think about running our complex business, having a very strong demand and supply engine is at the core of what we need to deliver. We not only have all of the challenges we talked about before, but we also have the added benefit of having to build the capability of flexing up and flexing down for potential wartime scenarios. And the traditional tooling stack to manage that demand and supply planning is not always the easiest to work through, because you can take your PLM and your ERP and your CRM to the limits, but there is an integrated data story around the ontology to make sure that all of those workflows can be done in a seamless way, from the simulation of like, how is your business changing? How is demand changing? How is capacity changing? To like the actual transaction layer and then the actual action layer of I want to go and tell this buyer to follow up with this supplier. And so we have used warp speed to kind of integrate and work through that entire simulation, transaction, and action track as one of our core engines, and it's been going great so far, and I can't wait to see how we're going to take it over the next year.
That's incredible.
Excellent.
Well, we've got a whole new year ahead of us, 2025. So excited to see how you guys accelerate in 25. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Come in.
Awesome.